Belgium and England, didn't it? So there's a lot to like. It seems like he done all right at Germany in their second division. Again, at 24, he's gone through some good and bad moments. So yeah, man, I think scouts have done their job. First thing I thought is that's more of a Trossard replacement than a Martinelli. Seems a good finisher inside the box. Seems an intelligent man. Seems versatile. Doesn't break the bank. And he's at 24. He helps in the medium and long term, in it, because we do have to kind of shave some of these attackers off the wage bill. So I do like him, man. He played all right against us, from what I can remember. He's obviously got Champions League experience. He's gone through good and bad periods of his career. I'm all for it, man. I don't think that's going to be the only signing, but in terms of buffering and improving the attacking ranks, get it done for me, man. Get it done for me. Is it a needle mover? He might be. I don't know. I'm not comparing him to that, but, you know, I do think you either put the money down, as I said, or you go for players that were like, who is that? And then if they go and do the business, who cares? Like, it's not the same, but I'm sure every Liverpool fan will say Mohamed Salah is a legend, right? When they signed him, it was, oh, my days. Like, and I'm sure some of them said, oh, Chelsea reject. He's done it in Italy. What's being said? Now, if Liverpool, the club, listen to the fans, you don't get Mohamed Salah. They potentially don't win a Premier Champs in that clock period. And you don't, you know, Mo Salah's not a legend. And there's bare kids in Liverpool and around the world of Liverpool supporting families that are called Mo, innit? Or Mohamed, better yet. So scouts do their job. For me, as long as it accompanies other things, I'm starting to believe we might get 3 attackers. I don't know if I believe we get the Belgium youth, Bacola and Rodgers, but Bobby's your uncle. Keep the questions coming, people. Keep them flowing, and let's keep going, man. It's Sunday. Now, you would have seen yesterday, obviously, 18-year-old Bouaddi in his World Cup debut versus Brazil, 91% pass accuracy, so 60 completed passes of 66, 100% pass accuracy in the final third, completed all 16, had 6 ball recoveries, 5 interceptions, 9 duels won. So a great way to announce yourself. On his future, obviously, as Sadiq was saying, he's going to give the diplomatic response in it, because it doesn't make sense fueling speculation. He's not an idiot. You have to be aware of it, especially in social media, especially someone at 18 where that's their generation. I'm really happy to know that some clubs are interested in me, but for now, I'm only focused on the World Cup. We'll try to give everything to do our best, and I can't expect anything less. He was among all Moroccan players. He had the most touches, most accurate passes, most ball carriers, second ground duels won, second most successful dribbles. Now, on paper, if you do it against Brazil and stand out, you're right. We've obviously question marked the recruitment, well, the quality of the player of caliber being produced by Brazil, the immediate World Cup squad, and obviously the tactics. So you do have to respectfully to him discount it a tiny bit. But, you know, we were linked with him even in January. You'd imagine that obviously the World Cup's probably just enhanced us and many other British clubs and big clubs abroad to go for him. They're not just going to look and go, wow, oh my God, sign him now. He's been on the scene for a minute now, as such has been said. But apparently, Arsenal have been working actively on signing Bouaddi 18 for several months. The club have clearly indicated to Bouaddi that he'll be considered an important player in their project, with the player interested in a potential move. Lille want around 70 million euros for Bouaddi, while Arsenal believe their relationship is excellent with club president Oliver Letang, and it could help facilitate negotiations. Another element could be, unlike PSG, who are interested in Bouaddi, Arsenal are not a direct competitor in their league. Do PSG have competition in that league? Arsenal have already scheduled further talks with Bouaddi after the World Cup, and Mikel Arteta is expected to have a greater involvement in those discussions. The deal could accelerate quickly after the tournament, so it appears to be the calm before the storm. Romano said Lyon know top clubs are going for Bouaddi. He's been approached by PSG. They love him. There was direct contact with Arsenal and Liverpool. Both clubs had meetings with the agent of the player. It's going to be a summer of midfielders. Arsenal step up efforts to sign Bouaddi, according to what we just read with Sacha Tavernier. We've got a long-standing interest in him. We've spoken indirectly with his agents. We're hoping we can utilize the excellent relations from club to club. But again, crucially, further talks are planned after the World Cup, which we've got. Pardon me, remember, I woke up to a message this morning, says Alex Cook of TalkSport, from a very reliable source telling me Bradley Bacola has asked to leave PSG. Liverpool and Arsenal are both tracking Bacola. While Rodgers is Arsenal's top choice, I wouldn't rule out a move for Bacola. If it came down to Rodgers or Bacola, who would you lot go for? Do you think we get both? Do you think we get neither? Talk to me. And crucially, smash the like button. And that's what I like about Bouaddi. He can play as an 8 and a 6, so he's multifunctional. Can play a deeper line or more box-to-box role. And again, he's got a level of experience. He could be groomed, and it's a horrible word to use, but groomed and crafted and molded with Mikel Arteta. These are the kind of quote-unquote project players I want. Alex Crook has also said, I was told that up to 10 clubs, both in the Premier League and abroad, are showing an interest in Jerry Monga. Arsenal are very close to agreeing a deal with Leicester City for a fee. I'm told will be around 10 million. He will triple that price tag in the near distant future. But if you get him for 10 million and it doesn't work out, you can obviously sell him. Another one, like I'm saying, if you've got a 16, 17-year-old Monga, a Bouaddi that's 18 years of age, couple, Lewis Skelly, couple of Max Dowman, 16, couple of people in their teens to mid and early 20s. This is what we need. This is what we need, people. So I do wonder how much first team football he'll get, because if you do get Bacola, Monga, obviously the Greek and Rodgers, and we're trying to win a league title, there's games, but yeah, you're playing 30, 40 times in the championship already. I said I would love him at Arsenal immediately. But could it be worth buying him, loaning him back to Leicester, who have been relegated, but for a 16, 17-year-old learning the tricks and trades, another year of first team football under your belt? Or do you bring him into the setup now? While on the face of it, minutes are currency and young players need minutes, and you'd imagine he'd get some minutes, but not significant. Arteta can be hands-on. We all know, you got to learn to press, defend, where you need to stand in certain areas, yada, yada, yada. So could be interesting. Go back to December, and L'Equipe and Fabrice Hawkins said, RMC Sport can reveal Arsenal are pushing hard to sign Bouaddi as early as January. Burr has already spoken to the player's entourage. Leo wants to extend his contract and look to sell him for more than 50 million euros. Now, obviously, as time's gone on, he's extended that deal, but maybe we've put the groundwork in now. We're not alone. You'd imagine, simply put, clubs have been harassing him probably for the last 2 years, if I'm honest. Ben Jacobs has said Arsenal looking for a midfielder, whether a 6 or an 8, possibly both, depending on outgoings. Like what Take a Touch is doing. If you could get him, because again, people might not like it, but Zubi could play as a 6 or an 8. I believe Lewis Skelly could play as a 6 or an 8. Rice could, Bouaddi could, and obviously Tonali could as well. And again, if it came to it, Tonali or Bouaddi, where you lot going, people? Arsenal are not giving up on Bacola. Football Transfers can reveal that Arsenal are refusing to abandon their long-standing pursuit of PSG winger Bradley Bacola. We are told that Andrea Berta first explored the deal last summer, only to be informed by PSG that the French international was not for sale. However, Berta has remained in contact with Bacola's entourage. Arsenal are still showing a strong interest in the winger, and they will have been emboldened by reports coming out of France that suggest PSG could listen to suitable offers this summer due to the players refusing to sign a deal. We have been linked with Kylian Yildiz. We've been rebuffed of making any approach. So while it can be said that Arsenal and Arteta admire him, it's not going to go anywhere. It's claimed Arsenal were prepared to pay 100 million euros. So what's that, 90 odd? We've gone over this. And again, we are exploring a deal to sign Christos Zelosis. He's a Greek forward who's had 2 spectacular seasons, as it says here at Belgium. He's earmarked for around 40 million euros. Crucially, it doesn't impact us going for Morgan Rodgers or anything. Arsenal are considering a move for Zelosis, he declared, says Romano. Contacts have already started on both the player's side and the club side. There are conversations underway, and the player will be very excited about the possibility of joining Arsenal. They've scouted him extensively. They like the player, and they see him as a market opportunity. Wasn't we linked with a Club Brugge striker as well? So it just shows you when you hear scouts are watching players, there's an element of truth in that. But they're very rarely just watching one player in particular. So I have to see. They are completely separate stories. Tazali is viewed as an opportunity. Rodgers remains one of Arsenal's top targets for the summer. Of course, he's expensive, and of course, it's difficult, but Arsenal love the player, and he remains a name discussed internally. Real Madrid apparently are not the only team, people. Calafiori is not the only player interested in Real Madrid. Apparently, Hincapié is being linked with Real Madrid, people. Consistent with Jose going in, they probably need some defenders. Apparently, there's question marks at left back and centre half, so it doesn't surprise me. I can't lie. Zelosis, you lot are telling me very different pronunciations, man. I need the man to come and say his own thing. Zelowski, what is his name? How do you pronounce it? Someone help the guy. Hard pass on Bacola. If we have an issue with Martinelli, Bacola is the same tier of player. Bro. Rodgers, Monga, Tizolis. Some of you said his head's quiet. Listen, you lot can do the smart thing. We know who I'm referring to, the Greek lad. Bouaddi is a massive... Rodgers, Monga, Tizolis, Bouaddi is a massive window for me. Add a defender in there. Not too sure what prospects we're looking at in the back line, but I do believe we need another centre-back, full-back hybrid. It would be lovely if we could get a Swiss Army knife for Tomiyasu in it. That would be of great help to our squad. Bouaddi is miles ahead of Miles Lewis-Skelly, and I rate Miles Lewis-Skelly highly. Different levels in my eyes. A midfield three of Lewis-Skelly, Rice, and Bouaddi is chef's kiss. And it gives us something to pivot away from, because they can all press and do all of that, but for me, simply put, I want that double pivot of Rice, Zubi, Lewis Skelly, Bouaddi, whoever you got, and the 10, whether that's Odegaard or Eze. But maybe we could play a different midfield three of more sixes and eights rather than have that. And maybe creativity comes out wide. Again, I'm not saying we need to freestyle every game, but we need different. We need different stuff at times, innit? Rodgers 100% both. No, Rodgers or Bacola. Get Bouaddi in. Outside of his tech, Hova, Marino, and Gabriel will turn into a set piece monster. Man saying both. Not sure Bouaddi is press resistant. I think he is. I think he's more of a 6, man. In the modern day, I don't think you're going to be an 8, but you can be a multifunctional midfielder that can help across both aspects. That's why I wanted Bruno Gomares a few years ago. Matt, appreciate you. 150 people. Michael, you're too nice and only 30 likes. Let's run up those likes, people. Bouaddi is who people think Anderson is. This is what top talent looks like. To be fair to Anderson, I don't think people have them in the same caliber, if I'm honest, and I think it'd be horrible. How much is Tizolis and Bouaddi make per week, DG? Not a clue, man. They're gonna, if they do sign, they're gonna get significantly bigger wages than they're on at the moment. But yeah, he's giving Gyökeres vibes at left wing. Not sure about him. No, it's more Trossard, if anything, and that leads me to believe. I think Martinelli stays, Trossard goes, man. Zolis. Okay, his name is Zolis. We got here. His name is Zolis now. You're suffering from Alan Brazil. More Paul Merson, if I'm honest. We probably did scout another player, bro. Very rarely a club is not just going to go and watch one player. You're going to watch everything, essentially. So, yeah. Excuse my manners, DG. How are we feeling as Premier League champions, my boy? Feeling great. Feeling like $1 million. Appreciate you for asking. Zolis. This is the other side with Zolis. His wages will be much less than Trossard, which is true. And again, he's 24. If he's going to mix and blend in the squad, if you go and get Bacola, Rodgers, or someone else, and he's mixing and blending in the squad, who knows? I do like him. I do, from what I can see why he'd be brought in. He can play on the left and the right hand side. Not the quickest, but not the slowest. Like, his pace is decent. Gets him behind. Seems a bit Trossard-y in how he makes instinctive decisions quick and fast in the box. I think it could be a good complement to the squad. You know, I think it's another kind of ceiling raiser, if I'm honest with you, rather than a level raiser. And let's have it right, man. You know, Martinelli and Trossard, we don't really know what we're getting. Noni, I like you, but you don't get numbers. Is Zolis would you not take a punt on Zolis, really? Say, yeah, man. It is what it is. Leandro, Trossard, Martinelli both leaving Arsenal this summer, DJ. I don't know, man, because there's rumors Trossard leaving, Martinelli's leaving, Odegaard to Inter Milan. Everybody is being linked with everyone. Slightly, I think we've covered this, but apparently we hold a major advantage over Champions League winners PSG in the battle to sign Bouaddi. What is that? I bet it's just the fact, well, yeah, they're regurgitating the same thing. Arsenal been using every argument they can to try and convince him to join, which has evidently left a lasting impression. The Gunners can't be excused of lacking persistence, with the report stating they've been in contact with his entourage since early Jan 2025. The fact that Arsenal playing the Premier League also works in their favour, so maybe they don't want to sell him to, you know, whatever. Can't lie, I would love Warren Zaire Emery, but it's not going to happen. Apparently, Arsenal continue to hold a strong interest in Bacola. Sources close to football transfers has insisted that Andrea Berta first made contact last summer. We've explored the deal, it didn't work, but we're not giving up. They're publicly insisting they don't want to sell him, but owing to his contract, he might have to keep it moving. Bacola is certainly not the only attacking midfield option that Arsenal are currently tracking, with Aston Villa's Morgan Rodgers and Club Brugge's Zolis other options, people. Of all PSG stars, Bacola is the one who looks most vulnerable to leaving in the summer. While there is still uncertainty over Dembele's future at PSG as contract negotiations progress, Bacola is a much more expendable asset. His form towards the end of the season was disappointing, and it led to him being used as a substitute in the latter stage of the Champions League. Meanwhile, there are long-term doubts lingering over the ability of the wide man to be consistently decisive. And that's the annoying thing, because I said it, like, at all different levels, but Martinelli, Bacola, Madueke, to me, they're all the same kind of player in that they're not bad. But if this is their level, they're either, the penny's either going to drop and they go up a level. So decision-making, you know, when you're getting in behind, slowing the game down. If that happens, they're up there. They're top players for Arsenal Football Club. But if you don't, they're going to play like this for the rest of their lives. Literally, whether they score goals or whatnot. We're getting Cava. You're dream chasing. Is Rodgers our left wing option, or are we signing a left winger regardless of him? We need an out-and-out winger. You could argue Zolis is that out-and-out winger, you know, a right-footed left winger. Clearly, Rodgers is a bit like Eze. He's a bit of a Swiss Army knife. There'll be times you play on the right, on the left, centrally, in which long-term I do think that's bad news for Odegaard, and maybe indirectly Eze, because I think he'll jump ahead of them on the queue. But granted, if you named Arsenal's strongest 11 right now, whether you have an Odegaard, Eze, whether you have a Lewis Skelly and Zubamendi or Rice, and which one of the two, Rodgers, like on paper, the left wing is kind of yours, really. And I want to see rotations, man. Because if you've got Eze, for argument's sake, if Eze's playing in the 10 and Rodgers is out wide in the game, bro, they can mix and blend. You see what PSG do? These are the kind of things that we kind of need to do. We need one central way of playing, which we've got. We need to evolve that, but we need an ability to pivot, whether that is one in midfield of Rice, Lewis Skelly, Zubamendi, whoever have you, and you've got Eze, Rodgers, Odegaard rotating. Or as I said, kind of what we saw against City, where you had Odegaard and Eze in the side. There wasn't much rotation, but you got the creative men in the side in that regards. We need different way to play. Didn't Zolis play against us and perform? Wasn't standout, but I remember he forced a good save from Raya. Apparently, we were scouting Trezzoldi and the German striker and noticed Zoli. I forgot how you say his name now. Zolis. So yeah, probably. I saw a video of Zolis rooting for us in the Champions League final. Bring him to the carpet. Tyrone, appreciate you, my boy. I've probably got over 100 Arsenal kits. As the tenacity to get at players and cover spaces, I think he's worth moving back here. Who are you referring to? I really want our coaching staff to be clever and convert Odegaard to a 6 or an 8, more of an 8. Technically and agility-wise, he has everything to play deep, keep the ball moving like João Neves or Vitaya. Our midfield needs a player who's quick on the turn and produces line-breaking passes or diagonal. Unpopular opinion, I agree with you, but I do think Arsenal fans are in this trap of thinking one man's going to be able to do that, and that's the key to breaking down low blocks. Of course, the more creative players you get, the better you are in that regards. But that's where the tactics, because players are tools in it. And like I just said then, we can have one central way of playing. There's different ways we can pivot, but it's down to the tactics to evolve. And the players to take even slightly more responsibility. Because I do think that's the next step. Arteta puts the shackles down a bit in attack, and players are promoted to find solutions. Because I do want to see more rotation. And you know what? The more you can get these creative players that are Swiss Army knives, man, you can't hit a moving target. There's certain things that Arteta could do next season that could be horrible for the opposition and lovely for an Arsenal fan. Getting players is half the job. Sorry, people. Need a bottle of water. As we continue this. Costco water, eh? So yeah, that's Bacola. What else have we got? Hey, big up Balogun for scoring for America, by the way. What's going on here? What's this? Same thing. Wait, joining the Gunners would be a gamble for the Greek lad. No, it wouldn't. Respectfully to Club Brugge, you're joining one of the best performing clubs in the world at the moment, the Premier League champions and the Champions League finalists. And obviously, you was at Norwich. It didn't really work out. You know, you obviously, to us normal fans, respectfully, he's not really known like that. But for Greece, he was seen as a wonder kid. Didn't work out at Norwich. Went on loan to Twente. Went on loan to Dusseldorf. Seemed like he done all right there. Got his goal scoring move. Off the back of that, he got a move to Club Brugge, where in the last 2 years, he's got some abnormal numbers. So, ironically, he will return to these shores a much better player. And you look at a lot of our players, they've had those periods, people. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see, man. Arsenal giving price. What's the price for Bouaddi? What's the price? Prices going up. Prices. Big up Migos. 60.4 million. So that's cheaper than Tonali. But for that, I'm on it. That's cheaper than Tonali. You get a bit more legs in the camp. I wonder who is going to be first choice, but these are good problems to have. Now, you would have known our head of medicine departed, people, and apparently Dr. Zafar, he's confirmed his departure, and he said, while there's been speculation online around the reasons for my departure, the simple truth is that after the success of this season, the time is right for both parties to move in a different direction. Arsenal are in pole position to complete transfer after Premier League rivals attempt hijack. We remain confident of sealing the deal for highly coveted 16-year-old Leicester City attacker Jerry Monga. Apparently, Brentford are the latest club to express interest in him via his reps. And, you know, you'd imagine you're more likely to play first-team football there. Newcastle and another unnamed German club are said to be interested. Apparently, Arsenal remain in pole position to conclude a deal before July the 10th once he turns 17. So he'd sign a pro deal. That date is significant because Monga's first professional deal, formally agreed with the Foxes last summer, is due to become active, meaning the League One club can command a fee. So, yeah. Burr has been heavily involved in the pursuit of Monga. We're looking at young players, people. He's viewed as a prospect with serious first-team potential. However, it's likely he'll have to remain patient for opportunities, despite playing 30 times for Leicester. Exactly. This is where I'm getting at. Morgan Rodgers, Club, Brugge Starlet, Zolis, and Bradley Bacola on our shortlist. We already know. Apparently, Sporting are set to bank over 3.4 3.45 million in add-ons after Gyökeres triggered that. People, you'd imagine there's a lot of add-ons in that. So it seems like we're starting to move in the right direction. Ben Jacobs has said PSG still want to keep Ricola, and that won't change unless they add another attacker and the player declines a new deal. As a result, the door to a sale is not entirely shut. He's on the radar of Liverpool and Arsenal. Liverpool's current focus is on Yan Diomande, who's also a PSG target, while Morgan Rodgers is one of Arsenal's leading targets. So we'll have to see how that develops. Everybody's saying the same thing. We're working on signing him. We're stepping up our pursuit to get him to the carpet. We're huge admirers of his technical profile and versatility in the middle of the park, people. And the path to the first team is there. The price tag is 60.4 million. Again, I'm going to ask you, look, would you do that? I was reading this. I won't bore you lot with it, but I would implore you all to read Saliba's interview, man. It's quite hard. Like, tugs at the heart when he's talking about his mom. He obviously died, like, around the time he was at Arsenal and he wasn't in the first team and just everything, man. And I mentioned that because I am a bit nervous for a lot of our players with their fitness and injuries going into next season. And Saliba, there's rumors around he needs surgery and whatnot. The Daily Mail linked us with Lecaux of Crystal Palace. He's been discussed by Real Madrid, Arsenal, and United. Apparently, we're all admirers of him. He's currently in a standoff with Crystal Palace over a new deal. You'd imagine he moves on. We've been linked with Alex Scott at Bournemouth, people, and they're eager to time to a new contract. So that's probably a degree of admiration and a want to sign him. But new contract, you see these rumors all the time. Nottingham Forest have submitted a 28 million euro bid for Fabio Vieira. Hamburg are still trying to keep him, but the chances are fading. We've been linked with Ibrahim Mazza, who's, an Algerian international. Chelsea, as well as Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur have been credited with an interest. The Daily Mail is saying Aston Villa have no desire to sell Morgan Rodgers, but suitors such as Arsenal believe 80 million could prompt negotiations. During Timber issues concerning injury update after missing the World Cup, and apparently he's raised doubt whether he'll return from injury for the start of Arsenal's Premier League season. So what does that tell me? Whether it's you, Ben White, we need another right back. What has he said specifically? It's nice. It's quite nice here. In about 5 days, I'm going back to London where I'll undergo several tests and see the doctors. I'm just resting for a bit now before I start rehabilitating. The recovery will still take a while. We're going to do scans and draw up a plan together, but I don't expect to be back very soon. In my head, I'm immediately thinking about what's to come. That is why I'm taking a break now. But at the same time, I'm already eager to show how good I am and to take the next step. I just want to get healthy again as soon as possible, feel good and start playing football again. I feel sorry for you, Timber, because you was robbed of participating at the Euros due to injuries, if I can remember correctly, and you've been robbed of a World Cup, man. West Ham shareholder Daniel Kretinsky insists the club are under no pressure to sell players for financial reasons. Man United and Arsenal are still chasing Hernandez. It does seem like Man United are in pole position for him. It's, City were linked with him. It seems like they're going for Elliot Anderson. One more linked with Bouaddi and obviously Tonali. So Man United have a free hit. So we're not going to read that. We know his asking price allegedly is 70 million. Kone, who's been linked with Arsenal this week, people have spoken, and he's probably said the same thing. Every player is linked with a move and asked by the press probably says. Honestly, right now, I'm only thinking about the World Cup. It's my first major international competition, a tournament I've always dreamed of playing in. I want to remain exclusively focused on this. We'll talk about the future after the World Cup and see what happens. My goal is always to be ready for the coach and the team. It's true, I play a lot in qualification, but today we have a squad full of great players. So fair enough, nobody's going to be drawn on that. And he's also said there's many matches. He's had 2 hamstring injuries this season. Oof, that's tough. That is tough, I'll tell you that. That is tough, mate. So what are we saying? Smash the likes if you haven't. Bro, the amount of tabs are going to give me a stroke. I hope that's not the case. Zolis crosses the ball well. Gyökeres would love him then if that's the case. Big up DG. Media games last night. Bouaddi stood out. Absolutely class. Haiti got that energy, lack of guile, but them man are active. True. The gamble is probably more on his part. Exactly. It's like it's on your part. Like, I might not get bare first team football. Arsenal fans being Prem champions. What is the most important quality in a player for you? For me, decision making. I would say decision making, but I would also, all right, because that's one of those. But I would say the 3 C's. Confidence. Now, you're human. There's going to be times when you're in good form, you're going to feel even more confident. When you lose your form, you're going to lose confidence. You're human beings. But I think confidence, like when things are going well, you're not as good as you think you are. When things are bad, they're not as good. They're not as bad as you think you are. So I'd say confidence in life. I think that's the main thing. That trickles into mentality and things. Like look at Declan Rice. Obviously, his quality, he's justified from a footballing point of view, is 105 million price tag, but he's a leader. And he's got that about him, sort of thing. Magalhaes has got that about him. Gyökeres, obviously, he's not the prettiest of footballer. He's not the most direct fit, but you can get a tune out of him. He's a mentality monster. He's coped with good or bad periods in his career. And to be fair, Zolis, he's gone through stuff. So I would say that. I would say confidence. I would say consistency, because that's another thing. The three C's: competency, consistency, confidence. Competence, apologies. Competence, confidence, consistency. Competence is obvious. If you're a centre mid, are you a good centre mid? Consistency is obvious. If we're playing on a Tuesday, I'm not expecting you to be great every game, but if you're good if you're 20 out of 10 on the Tuesday, and then you're 3 out of 10 on the Sunday, and then the following Wednesday, when it goes down, you're indifferent, it's irrelevant. So I would say that, if I'm completely honest. I watch Rodgers every week, and he's frustrating. He turns the ball over a lot and may not be what you think he is. I'm on it, because he's a chaotic player. Do I think he's amazing like that? No. And do I think we gas him up a bit? 100%. But he's chaotic. I think Arteta would love to work with Rodgers for what he could do off the ball. He's chaotic. He's got the ability to score goals. He can fit into the system, but also cause chaos to our system in a good way. He's a Swiss Army knife. I'm on it. I think he's a level raiser, if I'm honest. Zolis as a backup / competing left wing could be serious. He's got something about him. I still want a top left winger. Same, but I feel like I'm dream chasing. If you get Zolis and Morgan Rodgers, I very much doubt you're going to get another attacker. Now, of course, Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus are all subject to speculation, but I'm not advocating sell all of them. You could have the best decision making, but if you don't have the quality to execute, that's a problem. Look at what we are trying to do, upgrade the quality. DJ, if you win the Champions League in the future, will you be unbearable? I did wear a Brazil top. You have to have quality. Generally, apologies, I want my team to move the ball faster and more imaginatively and not allow any one player to stand on the ball and dominate the play. This is what Odegaard wants to do, and we don't need him. Vincent, one love. My biggest worry is not who will sign, but will we be playing the pragmatic defensive system again? It's like, if it's like a replacement, then whether it's Rodgers or Bacola, things will remain. Thoughts? Again, I kind of said that, like, signing them's half the job. It's down for Arteta.